Here we are again for another episode of the Hourglass Podcast, where family law and psychology intersect. You've got to decide, how do I celebrate the Yuletide season this year? Who do I buy gifts for? Who do I take off my list? Should I plan my festivities in keeping with the ones from years past? Will I spend my time with the same people? Will I go to the same places, prepare the same celebratory feast? Or will everything be drastically different? Lori Dennis of Lori Dennis Inc. here in Los Angeles. Lori is a member of the American Society of Interior Designers and also a member of the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. She's a best-selling author and star of HGTV's The Real Designing Women. Now, I know your work is all about creating a new environment for many, but I understand your specialty is designing interiors for divorced men.
Yes, it is. And it's a very, very fun client to work with. Very interesting.
And so what are divorced men looking for when they're looking to either redesign their houses or go into a new space?
Well, as you can imagine, when things end in a divorce, it's usually because the two people have opposing ideas about pretty much everything or many, many things. Yeah. And resoundingly, the house and where they live and their personal environments are a big point of contention. And so you'll come in and they'll just want to just do a complete 180, whatever it is. If they were in a super modern space, they want to go to something that's not modern and that feels really comfortable and earthy. And if they were in boho chic kind of place, they want to go James Bond. So it's just, they want to just get whatever was going on and completely change it out and move it forward. Sure.
I had a client once who was so excited that he was going to redecorate his own house. He wasn't going to work with a professional, and he told me he was going to frame up football posters and do the whole house like a man cave. And then 9 months later, he met a woman, and she made him throw it all out.
Out the window.
Right. So.
Well, it's just funny that, the weird stuff they hold on to, too. And when they split, they'll give the partner, and usually the guy will say, hey, keep the B&B Italia $25,000 entertainment unit, but I want this damn IKEA, bookshelf that I had since college, and I want my framed football photo. And it's like, look, bro, she's not going to fight you for those things. I think you're going to win on those.
and you're giving away some seriously expensive furniture, too.
It's a good trade. It's a good trade on the other side.
I mean, the other way to go is the way I went 14 years ago when I got divorced, and we had an amicable divorce. I left the house with just my clothing and a couple of boxes of books. And my thinking was, I'm going to meet someone at some point.
Right.
She's going to have her own taste. She's not going to want my bachelor pad, black leather couch, or whatever junk I was looking for. And that's exactly the way it worked. We did, we set up the house just the way she wanted, and off to a great, so far, 12-year marriage.
Very nice. Congratulations. So, that does happen, and a lot of them do come suitcase in hand, and that's pretty much it. But a different angle that I like to take with them is, who do you want to attract?
Right.
And what type of an environment do you want to be with that person in? And I've had a really high success rate of guys that get remarried and, pretty soon after they get the interior design done. So it's not always black leather sofas, maybe if you leave them to their own devices.
Right, exactly.
But when you bring in a professional like myself and you have that conversation about what is this dream life that you have and you have created, and maybe there is a carved out space that, this is a men only kind of, I want, testosterone up in here. And then, these other places and, family, friends, more public. So there's a lot of things that go into it in terms of what kind of life do you want to have and who do you want to attract. And so far, good success rate with that.
Right. So it's just visioning, figuring out where you want to be, then making the setting.
For that to happen.
Right.
Because imagine, you invite somebody over, they walk in and they say, wow, this dude's got his act together.
Right.
I want to be in this space. This feels really good. So whether it's
Makes
crystals or, whether they're into technology or, whatever it is, great kitchen, there's something for everybody. And you do attract that person who can enjoy those things with you when you go in that direction. So those are the fun stories.
Yeah.
Those are fun, good success stories.
Yeah. So turning our attention now to the holidays. We're just about or starting the holiday season now. How does holiday decorating, especially for a newly single person, how does that come into your business?
So, there's a lot of different aspects of how this could go down. Again, when you're getting divorced, you probably want to do things a little differently than the way that you've done them before. Maybe the other person didn't like to decorate and you really want to decorate. Yeah. They were maybe a different religion than you. Maybe they were Muslim or Jewish and you're a Christian. And finally now you get to just, celebrate Jesus Christ all over the place and just like garlands and balls and, you just really go haywire and crazy. And then it could be the flip side where you used to do all these kind of things and you got the decorations in the divorce and you just really are not into it. You're a minimalist. You never liked all that stuff around the house. You just can't stand looking at the gnomes anymore. Right. And you get a mid-century vibe going and you just have this metal tree with 3 pieces of tinsel on it. Or right. Maybe you want to create new traditions and you invite all of your friends over and have, you buy the balls and you guys all paint on the balls and you just make completely new decorations and a new experience. So it just kind of depends what it is that you had before that you want to do differently now. Or maybe you want to hold on to those traditions. They're still important to you and it doesn't make you sad. And maybe you have some kids and you just still want to keep it the way that it was so everybody doesn't feel completely blasted out of their environment. Or maybe you just say, screw it, let's get out of town and, let's just go celebrate somewhere else.
Right. So you mentioned sort of changing things up and perhaps even coming up with some new traditions. What are some good ideas that you've worked with clients on creating a new way to celebrate the holidays?
So one of the things that is really important when you're feeling sorry for yourself and you think that you have it the worst out of anybody, it's the holidays, everyone's paired up, is to do some volunteer work. So maybe if you have the means, the time, or the energy, going and decorating in retirement homes where people have no one is a really great new tradition to come up with. Or we do a lot of work with foster kids. So we'll go into foster kids who have transitioned into their own homes. Yeah. And we will not only furnish those homes, but during the holidays, we'll come and we'll help them decorate the homes. And there is a really powerful feeling when you are completely trashed and you feel so down and out and boo-hoo and my world is crashing. Yeah. When you go and you are able to give to other people, and especially other people who probably have things permanently a lot worse off than you do, you come from this place of gratitude and being able to give, and decorating becomes fun again instead of something that you hate and dread. And it's such a rewarding, fun experience that really is what the holidays are all about. Sure. So I highly recommend that. If all the other things don't work and you're still crying in your soup, go volunteer with people who have things that, they'd trade places with you in a minute.
Yeah, Alfred Adler, one of Freud's disciples back in Vienna, called it, and I'm going to butcher it, Gemeinschaft Gefühl, a long German word that meant giving to others makes you feel better. Right. And that's exactly what you just described right there. So do you see differences between men and women who are coming out of a divorce and what they're trying to do with their decorating?
Absolutely. And I don't want to make it sound like we don't help women. Women tend to need a little less help when it comes to the decorating than men do. I guess that's just a male-female type of a thing. But I would say that women are looking more for peace and calm when they have a split, and to make the home more of a place of solitude and a place that's private. Yeah. So we'll get meditation room requests, and we'll get spa requests, home gym requests. Men, on the other hand, I think are ready to just make this a more public space and invite others in. So we get a lot of converting dining rooms into bars. Yeah. We never use this dining room. How can we use this dining room? I like to drink tequila. I like tequila and wine tastings. And formal living rooms turn into pool halls. So so the differences are vast. Men also like the gym, but it's like a hardcore gym kind of a situation versus a be quiet, meditate, and invite people over and show with their trainer and show off their new guns that they just acquired. So it's an introspective female kind of energy most of the time, and an outward, bringing public into the private space type of a thing, which, sounds reasonable, right? Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And, when people are getting divorced and they they happen to ask me, how long should I wait before I start dating again? I tell them, wait a year. You're
whole year, okay.
You're not in the right,
Right.
mindset to go dating and meeting new people. Is there an optimal amount of time that people should wait after a breakup before they go into redesigning their home?
I think they need to go right away into redesigning a new home, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a very long lead time to actually getting a finished product.
Yeah.
So when you're ready to start dating, your sofa will have finally arrived and everything will be in place. So
Right.
you'll be good to go. But if you wait until that time, again, if you're trying to attract a certain new life, and you got a house that looks like bears with furniture, maybe you don't get the right kind of energy coming in, that year period. So, get settled, get back on your feet. And it's a really good distraction too, because now you have a project and you're moving forward and you're making new connections in terms of your desires and wants and needs, and you're being productive instead of looking backwards. Oh,
Sure.
This was a mess. Oh, I didn't like that. I didn't do this right. You're going in a positive forward direction, which is productive, and not just diving into, hey, let me get this new person and terrorize them with your stories and your bad behaviors. And you can work it out with your designer, your counselor, before you move on to your new partner. So
Great points. So what is the craziest or weirdest or most unusual thing someone has asked for in their redecorated house?
I would say it was the dog suite. Okay, so normally we'll get a dog maybe in the laundry room. There's going to be a really cool dog area where there's a shower for the dog and the kennel for the dog and where the dog's things are all neatly put away. But this one gentleman had been through a few divorces, no children, perma bachelor, and the dog was really his everything. And so he moved into, which was really weird because he always lived in these really cool penthouse kind of, doorman building type of environments. And he bought this house in the valley, which is just right in the middle of suburbia, and kids are going down the street with bikes and I said, oh my gosh, is this guy, are we moving to family town? Is this really going to take, he's almost 60, like, let's get the show on the road here. But it wasn't. It was to give his dog the whole, basically upstairs besides the master suite. And there was just all these it just felt so wasteful because the dog, the dog is just going to be in his bed, and the dog is going to be on the sofa where he's not supposed to be. And Bella just got the whole reign, and there was the art room for Bella, and there was the sleeping room for Bella, and there was the playroom for Bella, and there was the grooming room for Bella. And it was just really over the top. That was one of the, and it was tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Bella room. So that was the weirdest one. That was really out there.
So Lori, would you be interested in having us follow you at a new project for someone who's just post-divorce, showing us around, taking some video, and then doing before and after shots?
I would love to take you guys on a tour and show you some of my inspiring and sometimes crazy world of design for divorced men.
Yeah.
I think you'd love it.
Sounds great, and I know the viewers would love it as well. So Lori, where can our viewers find you? I'm
at loridennis.com, and they can check out what we do, how we do it, and we'd love to talk about where they want to go and how we can help them get there.
Great talking to you today. I especially like your comments about creating the space for what you want your future to look like. A great idea for redesigning.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me on the show.
Sure.